I went from burned out working long hours in a job I didn't love to generating over $1.1 million in profit with digital products, and I did it all from home. The best part is that I did it while being a full-time mom. So if you're ready to make that shift, if you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building a business that not only brings in money, but also allows you to live life on your own terms, then you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can start making money with digital products and start your journey to financial freedom the same way that I did.
So today we're going to kick off a journey that's going to push your limits, it's going to spark your creativity, and it could very well change how you see your career in your future. That's exactly what it did for me, and I know that's what it did for Paige. You're not just learning about digital entrepreneurship, you're literally stepping into the shoes of one. This is all about transforming you from a curious beginner into a confident creator in the digital world. So today we're laying the groundwork by exploring what being a digital entrepreneur means, the vast opportunities it brings, the hurdles you might face, and how to navigate this new terrain with resilience and a growth mindset. So why is it so important to dive in with everything you've got? Because this isn't just about picking up a couple of tips on digital entrepreneurship. It is about undergoing a complete transformation that could open doors you never even knew existed. Each day you're going to build on the last day, and it's designed to turn you into not just a participant in the digital economy, but it's going to help you become a standout creator who actually makes waves. We built this course to intentionally ditch the conventional way of life that we've all been told we have to live. We want this to help you challenge the everyday, and we want to help you build a digital empire that is profitable, that is fulfilling, and more importantly, is uniquely yours. So when we say we want you to go all in, we mean it. We want you to jump in with both feet, with open minds, and a determination to unleash this digital badass creator you are meant to be. Now, that said, I want to talk about entering digital marketing with the right mindset. Because mindset, believe it or not, is what will make or break your business. The right mindset is what ultimately will take you from a beginner to a badass and will set you apart from every other creator online. You're going to hear us say we'll die on this hill a lot. We don't die on every hill, but the ones we do die on are incredibly important, and this is one of them. Mindset is everything. Now, I know there's a lot of buzz out there about making quick money online, and while it's true that digital marketing offers incredible opportunities, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme for anyone. But I don't want that to deter you. The truth is, digital marketing holds the power to change your entire life. Literally your entire life. It's just not going to happen overnight. And if you are listening to anyone who is promising fast money, I want you to unfollow them, block them, erase them from your memory, because they are not really here for you. Okay, I don't especially love analogies and I'm not very good at them, but I'm going to try it. And I want you to think of digital marketing as a garden, a really cool digital garden where you don't actually have to sweat or get your hands dirty. So you start with seeds, right? So your seeds are your ideas and your content. And with the right care and continuous care, which is your strategy and effort, those seeds will grow into something beautiful and incredibly rewarding. And if there's one thing you're going to get from us, it is transparency and honesty. So I'll be honest with you when I say it takes time, patience, and a lot of learning to figure out what works and what doesn't. Growth is not instant. Some virtual seeds sprout quickly while others take a little bit longer, but each one has its own potential to thrive under the right conditions. The real magic of digital marketing, though, is its ability to scale. So you might start small, but as you learn and adapt, your reach and impact can grow beyond what you originally imagined. When I started, I could never imagined that I would grow a following of over, at this time, like 280,000 people, start a full-fledged business with my sister, like earn an income that I can only dream about. I never knew any of that was going to be possible for me, but as it turns out, digital marketing is unlike any opportunity in that you can quite literally build the experience you want. It's about building a solid foundation, understanding your audience, and delivering value consistently. This is what fosters genuine connections, and over time, these connections can translate into a loyal following and, yes, a very profitable business. Okay, but here's the deal. This kind of success comes from commitment from you, from resilience, a willingness to actually invest in your growth. And it's for those who are ready to dive deep, put in the work, and maybe get a little uncomfortable with new challenges. There were and still are many times that I was incredibly uncomfortable because change and growth are always, always uncomfortable. But those are the times that you know that you're onto something. Those are the times when you lean in, and those are the times that propel you. I really don't like sounding cliche, but there's honestly no way around it right now. The journey is as rewarding as the destination. It is packed with personal growth, which is the best kind of growth, lots of learning, and the joy and fulfillment fulfillment of creating something you truly own. So while you might not wake up tomorrow with thousands in your bank account from digital marketing efforts, you are starting down a path that can lead to financial freedom and the ability to live life on your own terms. That is the real potential of digital marketing. It is about creating a life that aligns with your passions, your goals, and that, guys, is truly, truly life-changing. And look, like, talking about going into this with the right mindset is cool and all, but my question is, how do you actually do that? So I want to share some tips for managing your mindset that will keep you encouraged, it'll keep you excited, motivated, and determined during this entire journey. Okay, now this one might sound a little dumb, but it's a practice that I absolutely swear by, and I believe wholeheartedly that it's what took me from a little baby beginner who knew nothing to a badass digital creator in 1 year. And it is simply this: start making plans for your life, assuming you're going to be successful. I remember very vividly in my first few weeks of starting, I was standing in the hallway next to our bedroom talking to my husband, and I said, "Isn't it going to be crazy if this takes off?" And I immediately stopped myself mid-conversation. I remember the weird look my husband gave me, and I repeated myself, but I said, "Isn't it going to be crazy when this takes off?" At that time, we were basically surviving on my annual salary of $60,300, and that was with me working 40 to 50 hours a week. We were living to work. I was living to pay the bills, living for the few hours of PTO I earned every quarter, which to me was not really living at all. And I felt like I had worked so freaking hard to go to college, graduate summa cum laude, and try to find a good job that would provide for my family. But all I felt, honestly, was like I had been lied to. Because after all of that, after all the time I spent working in college and then in a job, I was still unhappy, I was still stressed, and I was still poor, honestly, and I was still struggling. And the reason I started digital marketing at all is because I was determined to change that. So every single day, I want you to plan like you're already successful. Really allow yourself to get excited and to think, it's going to be so crazy when this takes off. I want you to start asking yourself some questions that will help shape your mindset and get you ready for this insanely cool venture. So take some time, write these things down if it helps, create a new note on your phone, talk about them with a friend or a partner, whatever helps you process these the best. I want you to write down 3 to 5 limiting beliefs you have around your success. A limiting belief is a deeply held conviction that restricts our potential by making us doubt our abilities and opportunities. So it's kind of like this internal narrative that says, I can't do this, or this isn't possible for me. It holds us back from pursuing our goals and our dreams, and they are not true. I want you to reflect on what specifically holds you back when you're on the verge of trying something new or making a change. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of judgment, or a belief that you're not skilled enough? Because identifying this can help you pinpoint the limiting belief that's at play. Next, I want you to describe how these beliefs have impacted how you feel about making money. How have these beliefs affected your decision-making or lack thereof? Write down what evidence you have that contradicts those limiting beliefs. What experiences, achievements, and examples do you have from your life that disproves those negative convictions? What have you succeeded or made progress in that you thought you couldn't? These questions are going to help you reflect on your past successes and moments of growth, especially in contexts you initially believe were way beyond your capabilities. It's going to help you disprove the limiting belief by highlighting your ability to overcome challenges and achieve goals. So this is more like reinforcing a positive and capable self-view. Then I want you to write down 3 to 5 strengths you have. And I know that especially in interviews, it's always like the worst questions, like, what are you good at? But this is, I want you to take it very seriously. I want you to write down 3 to 5 strengths that you have, that you know you have, even if you don't like admitting it to yourself or to other people. What skills have you acquired through jobs or life experience? How are these skills transferable to your new digital marketing venture? What do people say you're good at? If you don't know, ask a friend. That's the best way to do it. By asking yourself these questions, you're directly challenging your current limiting beliefs in several impactful ways. Number 1, you're acknowledging your strengths. You're affirming your capabilities and recognizing your value, which can often be overlooked when you're clouded by self-doubt. Been there. This activity is going to counter beliefs that you're not skilled or talented enough to do a certain thing. Number 2 is value your experience. Reflecting on skills you've acquired through jobs or life experiences helps you see the breadth of your capabilities, including those that are not immediately apparent. So this is going to challenge the belief that you're starting from zero or that you don't have relevant skills for digital marketing, which you do because you're a grown adult who's worked for a very long time. Number 3 is that it recognizes transferability. By considering how your skills are transferable, you're breaking down the mental barrier that what you know or can do is limited to specific contexts. This directly opposes limiting beliefs that your past experiences won't benefit your new digital marketing venture. Number 4 is external validation. So by asking what others believe you're good at, it introduces an external perspective, which is often much more objective than your own internal critique. This can challenge the limiting belief that you're not good enough by providing concrete examples of your abilities as seen by others. I know that when people talk about mindset or changing the way you think, it can feel intimidating because they're literally challenging you to rewire your brain, to begin retraining yourself after years of doing things a certain way, after believing life should follow a certain program or a certain set of events. But I want to encourage you to go into this feeling excited. When you allow yourself to begin thinking differently, to see opportunities differently, it changes everything. You begin to think of yourself differently. You start asking yourself, what am I capable of? Or like, what could my life actually look like in a year if I tried this? Because the honest truth is, if you want life-changing results, you have to make life-changing decisions. And it starts with giving yourself permission to challenge the way you have been trained to think, the way you've been trained to live, and the way you've been trained to make decisions. Personally, for me, when I finally gave myself permission to think outside the box, it was like this veil had been lifted and I began seeing opportunity quite literally everywhere. I don't know if any of y'all are sci-fi fans, but I like to think of this as like I was sitting across from Morpheus in the Matrix and he was offering me the red or the blue pill, and I was being presented with this opportunity to learn life-changing truth by taking the red pill, or to stay content with my ordinary reality, blissfully unaware of my true potential by taking the blue pill. And I'll be honest, it was a very scary decision. I didn't know what I was going to learn. I didn't know how it would change me or my life, or if I would be any good at it. But staying where I was just wasn't an option anymore. I realized that if I wanted my life to look differently, I had to do something different. So I took the red pill, and it's honestly the best thing I've ever done. There's a quote from Albert Einstein that says, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results." If you want different results, you need to do different things. So what's next? Well, buckle up because we are just getting started. I know there was a lot of mindset talk, but I want you to think of the next few days as your own personal adventure into the unknown, but not like a creepy one that's really exciting, and you're not going to be sweaty and uncomfortable the whole time. There's going to be lots of opportunities for you to grow during the next couple of days, to laugh, hopefully, as you watch me and Paige just be our normal weird selves, and maybe even surprise yourself. We're going to be doing this together. We are exploring new paths and discovering what we are truly capable of, and I'm really excited to dive into the next part of this challenge with you. So I want you to keep the energy high and your minds open. Who knows what we're going to uncover? So here's to us grabbing that red pill, doing something that scares you, and knowing you're about to change your life in the best possible way.
What is digital marketing and why is it the solution? So digital marketing is simply using social media channels to drive traffic, create awareness, and encourage engagement for a particular brand, specifically your brand. As a digital marketer and creator, you are your brand, meaning you have the ability to create an online business around anything you want and drive traffic to your products via social media. Being a digital marketer and creator gives you the freedom to talk about whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you're interested in, whatever you're good at, whatever you're passionate about. You have this incredible opportunity to monetize your passions. And if you want to, shift a certain narrative or just make a difference. So Instagram on its own has over 1 billion active users every single day, and learning how to use these platforms allows you to reach thousands, if not millions of people to share your story, your opinions, and reach the people who would benefit from what you have to share. And before you say, I don't have anything to share, you do, I promise. It's just not likely something that you think about every day. But one of the most important and foundational skills you'll need to become a digital creator is social media marketing. This is all about creating content that resonates with your target audience, showcases your knowledge, gives value, engages your audience, inspires them, and sells them on your offers. And before you start getting nervous and think, this is too complicated, or I barely use social media, there's no way I could do this. Don't. I promise it is not as complicated as it sounds. I mean, it's definitely a learning curve, just like anything is that you're learning for the first time, but it is really so simple. When I first got started, I rarely used social media. I was just taking pictures of my kids, and that is it. I didn't know how to make a reel, I didn't know how to use stories, and I knew absolutely nothing about using a platform strategically for sales. I am not tech savvy, and I am a comfort zone loving girly, but I learned, and let me tell you, it is so much easier than anything else I've ever done, and I was an RN. And just to put another possible worry to rest, success is not as far away as it may feel right now. Let's just put it into perspective really quick. If you were to start college right now for a new career path that would make you more money and be more fulfilling, it would take you 4 years just to get your degree. After you graduate, you'd have to start applying for jobs, most of which require a couple of years experience or internship. Then you may land a solid position, most likely at entry-level pay, and then if you're lucky and you give enough hours to the company, you could get an annual 2% raise. Whereas, if you start on your path to become a digital creator as a beginner with no prior experience, you could be replacing your entire income in less than a year. Now, obviously, this isn't the case for everyone, but I just want to showcase the potential. This is what I did, this is what a lot of people have done, and it's not a guarantee that this will be your future, but this is the possibility that becoming a digital creator offers. When I started in April 2023, I was a burnt out RN with zero social media experience, no clue of how to sell anything, and absolutely zero confidence. I was terrified to start something new after years of having worked my butt off for a degree and giving my life to my career. But I was determined to learn, and I was hell bent on making it work. I did not start perfect, and I was not even good for that matter, but I kept showing up anyways. And by 5 months, I was able to quit my full-time RN job and be home with my kids. And by 10 months, I had over 3 times my annual RN salary, and my life just completely changed in less than a year. And yours can too. It took work and determination, but it was so much simpler and so much less demanding than any other job I had ever worked. And it was so incredibly worth it. All right, so next let's talk about what your role is as a digital creator. Something I really want to emphasize is that as a digital creator, you are so much more than just a content producer. It's not just about making reels and going viral. You get to tell your story, you get to reshape the narrative of whatever it is you want to talk about, and you get to make a difference. You're not here to do what everyone else is doing. That's boring. You're here to be you and offer your unique perspective to the world in a way that wasn't possible before social media. The really cool thing about being a digital creator is that there are so many different kinds of creators. We have creators that teach social media strategy, how to run a successful online business like we do, but we also have creators doing all kinds of things like teaching you how to handle stressful situations, how to cope with ADHD and anxiety, how to get fit as a busy mom, how to start and tend to a garden, how to train your pets, how to style your body type, how to gain confidence, how to meal prep, how to plan events, how to grocery shop on a budget, how to practice minimalism in your home. You can talk about and teach whatever you want. And this is what we call your niche. And a concern I often hear is, but isn't it oversaturated, it being digital marketing? And the answer is no. And here's why. Let's just say that you want to create an account around fitness. Are there a lot of people in the fitness niche? Definitely. But is there anyone else out there with your exact body type, life experience, background, struggles, previous or current health concern, or personality? Nope. This is why you don't need to worry about oversaturation, because you are completely unique, and that is how you differentiate yourself from the rest. This is what I mean when I say that you are your brand. You cannot be replicated. This is why as a digital creator, it's so important to show up 100% as yourself, tell your story, and do and talk about what aligns with you as a person. When it comes down to it, people are on social media to connect. People crave relatability and transparency after so many years of being fed overly fake and filtered content. They want to follow people that are real and show up unapologetically as themselves. But what's equally important is that people buy from people they trust. If you're listening to this video, you probably want to learn how to make money from all of this, but don't worry, we're going to get to that. But building trust is one of the most fundamental aspects of your role as a digital creator. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is choosing a social media platform for yourself. As a digital creator, you can be on whatever platform you want, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's completely up to you which platform you choose. But when you're trying to decide which platform you want to use, it's important to think about where your target audience is most likely spending their time. And also consider which platform best aligns with you. As a digital marketer and creator, I'm partial to Instagram due to it being much more business friendly than others. And not only that, but I learned that my target audience spends most of their time on Instagram, so that's just a no-brainer for me. But whichever platform you choose, I encourage you to start with only one. Give yourself time to learn the platform, the functions, and the algorithm before adding another. Now, there is one exception to this rule, and that is if you start on Instagram, I highly suggest starting a new Facebook profile and page as well and connecting the two of them. And this allows your Instagram content to be shared to Facebook without any extra work from you. That's just a little pro tip. Now, something that's very important to note is that you will be starting brand new pages on whatever platform that you choose. These are going to be business profiles and dedicated only to your business. We want to start with 0 followers because the goal is to only attract people who are interested in you and what you have to offer. Even if you have a personal page with thousands of followers, start over. Trust me on this. Because as a creator, and more specifically a digital marketer, the goal is to earn. And having thousands of random followers does not help with sales. Because as we say in Creator Club and socially all the time, followers do not equal sales. And we're going to touch more on that later. Okay, so now what? How do I actually get started? You're going to get started. And it sounds simple enough, but this is actually where so many people get hung up and talk themselves out of it entirely. This is often where people kind of freeze up in decision overwhelm and let imposter syndrome take root. But listen, you're not most people, okay? You're going to step in with confidence. And if you don't have any confidence right now, borrow it from someone else for the time being. And listen, confidence does not mean that you have it all figured out. It means you believe in yourself enough to figure it out. You're going to say, I may not know what I'm doing just yet, but I'm going to figure it out as I go. Every single one of us started as beginners not knowing what we're doing. There is not a professional out there that did not start at 0. You're going to learn and grow every single day. You're going to make mistakes. Your content may not be amazing at first, and you're going to get frustrated. Just expect that. This is life, and it is never, ever perfect, but you're going to feel more confident. You're going to grow so much as a person and a creator. One of the biggest and best side effects of being a creator for me has been personal growth. I had no idea how much showing up online as myself, as scary as it was, would help my confidence and the way that I view myself. You are in for a very exciting ride, and I'm honestly just genuinely excited for you. But one of the easiest ways to combat some of that fear and uncertainty that often comes with trying something new is making a plan. Take those ideas that are swirling around in your head and put them on paper or put them in a note on your phone. It just helps you take those ideas and dreams and give them life. And it's honestly so exciting because these are your first steps in starting your very own business. These are the first steps in changing your financial situation and your life. And with that, I've got some homework for you. I'm giving you some action items that I want you to go through that are really going to help you start diving into your niche, defining your brand voice, and telling your story. So make sure you spend time on them. Doing this now is so important because it's really going to give you clarity moving forward. The first thing I want you to do is use Instagram to search for other creators who are posting content within your chosen niche. And then I want you to follow 3 creators that you align with personally. Analyze how they market themselves and engage with their community. Now, this does not mean that your content or account will look, act, or perform the same way, but it allows you to start brainstorming what you want your personal brand voice to be. And number 2 is define your brand voice. Based on the research that you do, start brainstorming ideas for your personal brand voice. Consider how you want to present your content and engage with your audience. So here's some questions that you can ask yourself to start that brainstorming. Who am I speaking to? Who is your ideal audience? What are their interests, struggles, desires? What makes me unique? What are your unique experiences, skills, or perspectives that set you apart from others in your niche? How do I naturally communicate? Consider how you communicate in natural, casual settings. Are you funny? Are you straight to the point? Are you inspirational, analytical? And then what values do I want to convey? You want to identify those core values that you have as a person, and then think about how you can communicate those values in your content. Next is, how do I want my audience to feel? After engaging with your content, what emotions or thoughts do you want your audience to experience? Do you want them to be inspired? Do you want them to be educated or motivated? Next is, what is my content's purpose? Are you looking to educate, entertain, inspire, or persuade? Maybe a mix of all of those things. And how can your brand voice enhance the delivery of this purpose? Next is, which brands do I admire and why? Think about brands or creators that you look up to and what aspect of their brand voice appeals to you. And how can you possibly even incorporate similar elements into your own voice? And lastly, how do I describe my brand voice in 3 words? I want you to pick 3 adjectives or descriptive words that best describe the overall essence of your brand. And how can these adjectives guide your tone and communication style? Now, I know this is a lot, so bear with me. Your last action item for today is I want you to write down 3 different topics or subjects that you are passionate about in order from most to least favorite. And yes, hobbies do count. And some questions to consider when you're trying to choose these are, which subject do you know the most about? Which subject makes you the happiest? Which subject would you be happy talking about every single day? And what subject could you teach other people about? I know this was a lot of information, but I cannot wait for you to dive into these questions and get to know yourself in a new way and start making a real plan. These questions are going to help you build a solid foundation and give you the advantage of knowing your personal brand from the beginning. These are questions that I didn't answer until much further on in my journey, and I cannot tell you how much simpler it would have been for me if I had known to do this sooner. So spend time on them and answer them honestly, because this is what's going to help you stand out, reach your target audience, and build a solid personal brand that people recognize and trust.
Instead of viewing community building as some distant goal, we're going to start with you as an individual and explore how you can become this beacon for your audience from day one. At the heart of every successful online business is a compelling personal story, and believe me, everybody has one. Your journey, your struggles, and your victories are what set you apart in a crowded digital space. So we're going to talk about how to share your story in a way that not only connects deeply with your audience, but also begins to position you as a go-to source in your niche. Visibility is obviously key to becoming that beacon, so we're going to talk about strategies to making sure your story is seen and heard by those who need it the most. We're focusing on actionable steps to increase your visibility and attract a community naturally. And becoming that shining beacon, that light in your niche, and ultimately building a community is about genuine connection, not just numbers. We're going to discuss how authentic engagement, sharing your insights, responding to feedback, and being present can foster a loyal following. Authenticity is what makes your community feel valued, like real people, and it naturally deepens their investment in your journey. So when you're authentic with your audience and you treat them like real people and not just some random follower, they can't help but be invested in you. And then to end day 3, I'm going to share an example of one particular individual who turned their passion and story into a powerful community. And this is going to show you the potential of starting with your authentic self and your passion, and how it naturally leads to fostering a community that believes in you and your message and what you have to offer. So by the end of today, you're going to see that becoming a beacon is not about having all of the answers or a massive following from the get-go. It's about starting where you are with what you have and letting your genuine story lead the way. This is the foundation strong, invested communities are built on. Let's talk about the essence of your story. Your personal story isn't just stuff that happened to you. It is like a big, colorful collage made up of all of your experiences. It's not just about the destinations or the achievements you've reached, but it's about the journey. It's about the roads you've traveled, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons that you have learned along the way. These elements of your story are what set you apart in a world that is louder and more connected than it ever has been. So some people ask, though, why would I want to share my story? Why is that significant, or why is it important? And it's because within your narrative lies the power to resonate deeply with others. Your struggles, your resilience, and your victories offer hope. They offer inspiration and a sense of connection. When you share your story, you are inviting others into your life. You're showing them that they're not alone in their struggles or their aspirations. People need to be able to see themselves in you in one way or another in order to trust you. So imagine the impact of sharing how you overcame a significant challenge or what you learned from a particular experience. These stories can become beacons of light that we talked about for others who are going through the same experiences. I've personally shared how I struggle with imposter syndrome and my own limiting beliefs, feeling like I don't actually have what it takes to build a successful business. And by sharing that, I've had hundreds of people reach out to me, thanking me for my vulnerability, that they're glad they're not alone in their struggles, and that they know it's possible to overcome it. Your story, whether you believe it or not, can inspire action, it can foster resilience, and it can encourage a sense of community, even in an online space. Your story, whatever you have been through, has the power to touch lives. It has the power to influence perspectives, and it can even change the course of somebody else's journey, whether you think so or not. So I would like to encourage you, don't keep your story to yourself. Embrace it, own it, share it, whether it's through social media, through blogs or videos or conversations. Let your voice be heard. Remember, it's not just about what you've achieved, it's about how you've lived. It's about the obstacles you've tackled and the wisdom you've gained through those obstacles. So here's an alternative perspective. Maybe you've got this feeling that your story isn't all that unique. You haven't been through anything substantial. Or maybe you think that the digital world at least, is just too crowded with voices that are similar to yours. And if that sounds about right, I want you to buckle up, because we're diving into something super important today, and that is visibility. So let's get real for just a second, like we haven't been already. The digital space is massive. And yeah, it is packed with people who are sharing their stories. But here's the thing, no one has lived your life, has faced your battles, or has celebrated your victories quite like you have. And that is where the magic of visibility comes into play. It's all about making sure that the people who need to hear what you've got to say can actually find you, because believe it or not, they are out there searching for someone just like you. The thing is, becoming that shining beacon in your niche does not happen by accident. It is about being strategic, intentional, maybe a little bold. But here's how we can start turning up the dial on your visibility. First of all, I want you to embrace your uniqueness. Own your story, the quirks, the ups and downs. It is all gold. When you start valuing what you bring to the table, others will too. The next one is finding your tribe. Think about who needs to hear your message the most. Who are they? What do they care about? Once you figured that out, go where they hang out online. That could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever platform. Then you need to speak their language. When you share your story or your insights, make sure that it resonates with your people. Use their lingo, address their pain points, and celebrate their wins. It is about making that connection as genuine and authentic as possible. And guys, you're going to hear this so often in your online journey. Consistency is key. It is your best friend. Keep showing up regularly, predictably, whether it is Reels or Instagram posts, Twitter feed, TikTok updates. Make sure your voice is a constant presence in your community's online world. Lastly, guys, engage. Don't just broadcast, engage with your community. I want you to remember that building visibility is a two-way street. Respond to those comments, join the conversations, ask questions. Make sure your online presence feels like a community and not just a broadcast channel. So in short, get involved when people message you, when they comment, when they reach out to you. Be there, be involved. And if you ever catch yourself thinking like, why am I even bothering? There are a million other voices out there. Remember this, none of those voices are yours. The world needs and wants to see that special something that only you can offer, because it is only yours. So let's crank up the visibility and light up your corner of the internet, because your tribe, your specific tribe, is waiting for you. All right, so I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to talk about engaging authentically. Being authentic means showing up as your true self, not just a polished version you think the world needs to see or wants to see. It's about letting your guard down. It's about sharing your real stories, your actual beliefs, and even the not so perfect moments. In a lot of my content, personally, you will see my unmade bed, my messy living room with my kids' toys all over the place, my somewhat greasy hair. Sorry, I use a lot of dry shampoo, but that is me. That is because it is me. My house is not clean every day. I don't wake up and immediately do my hair or put on makeup, and I am actively working on getting better about making my bed. This authenticity, this realness is what draws people to you, and it keeps them coming back. I also want you to share your knowledge, your experience, and your thoughts in a way that adds real value. Don't just talk at your audience, talk with them. Share things that can help them, that can inspire them or make them think or actually teach them something. And when you do, you're not just a voice on the internet. You become their go-to resource in your niche. All right, now let's talk about feedback. Whether it is a comment or a message or a question, taking the time to respond thoughtfully shows that you are listening and that you care. It is about acknowledging their presence and the time it took for them to leave a comment on one of your videos and making them feel seen. Because remember that every interaction is an opportunity to strengthen a relationship. Now, as far as being present goes, it is more than just showing up consistently. It is about being truly engaged when you're there. It means being a part of the conversation and not just like starting it. So when your community sees that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say, that's when the magic happens. That's when they start to feel like they're part of something special. And we talked about authenticity a little bit earlier, but I just want to share the power, the real power of authenticity online. Because if you haven't realized it already, authenticity is what transforms your community into real people who care deeply about what you're sharing. It's what makes them feel valued and understood. And when people feel valued, they don't just follow you, they become invested in your journey. They root for you, they support you, they stand up for you, and they share your story with others. So as we wrap today up, I want to share an awesome example with you. This is a really inspiring journey of an individual just like you who transformed their passion and personal stories into a vibrant and powerful community. My friend Liz, she is known to her followers as Your Face Yoga BFF, began her journey with a simple mission, which was to share her passion for natural skincare and the transformative power of face yoga, which are exercises that you can do at home with your face, with no special tools. So she had a solid understanding of the challenges a lot of people face in maintaining young, glowing skin, reducing wrinkles, and finding accessible, affordable solutions. So Liz used Instagram as her platform to share her knowledge and insights. Liz's approach is very straightforward and 100% authentic. She started just by sharing easy at-home skincare routines, focusing on face yoga techniques. And like I said earlier, they require no special tools or products. Her content is not only informative, but it is also engaging and it's super easy to follow, which quickly resonated with individuals who are looking for skincare alternatives that are cost-effective and easy. So as Liz continued to share her expertise, her followers appreciated the real value she provided in her posts, her stories, and her products. Her consistent quality content, along with her easygoing and very approachable presence, helped her rapidly grow her following on Instagram. I'm talking fast. Now, what set Liz apart, because there are a lot of people talking about skincare online, is her commitment to fostering a genuine connection with her audience. She actively engages with her followers by responding to comments, by addressing their skincare concerns, or incorporating their feedback into her content creation. And this two-way interaction has nurtured a sense of community among her followers who not only look up to her for skincare advice, but also felt seen and heard. So Liz tailored her instructions specifically to her audience, which only made her audience bond with her that much more. She made skincare feel easy, and if you're anything like me, it never feels easy, but she made it feel like you're learning from a friend, which makes her audience feel safe, makes them feel comfortable, and it makes them feel confident in their own practice of her techniques. So recognizing that growing interest in her face yoga routines and her skincare advice, Liz decided to leverage her Instagram success and launch her own online business. She even developed a face yoga course that offers more in-depth training that her customers can reference over and over. She provided real value that goes beyond the price of the product. Her online course was designed to cater to different skincare needs and goals, which made it easy for her followers to find a program that worked for them. Liz's comprehensive approach, where she combined face yoga with holistic skincare practices, is what set her offers apart in the market. The trust and credibility she has built with her Instagram community has translated into an insanely successful business. Her followers were eager and very happy to support her and purchase her products, which is how so many of them became her first customers. Liz's journey from an Instagram account to a thriving online business that teaches easy at-home skincare routines literally exemplifies the power of passion, authenticity, and community online. By focusing on genuine engagement and providing real value every day, Liz was able to turn her expertise in face yoga into a successful platform that empowers individuals to embrace natural skincare practices. And this is exactly what we are going to show you how to do. So as we end day 3, I want to help you discover your story, your unique angle, and your position in your niche. These action items that we're going to talk about are going to help you identify your why, your most important motivation for becoming a digital creator. Because before you begin to help others, you need to understand and own why you're here in the first place, because that's going to be your virtual lighthouse. It is going to be your landmark. It is going to be your lamppost in a snowy Narnia. And these action items are also going to help you learn how to engage with your community and how to begin fostering an authentic connection with them. So let's talk about your action items for today. And this is all going to revolve around engaging with your niche community. So first of all, I want you to briefly write down why you're interested in your chosen niche or what inspired you to start this digital marketing journey. Focus on what makes this journey meaningful and personal to you. This specific exercise is going to help you explore and articulate your own motivations and your goal. Because understanding and owning your story is the first step towards sharing it authentically with others as you build your digital presence. Next, I want you to find 3 digital creators or communities within your niche on social media. I recommend Instagram because I want you to observe how they engage with their audience. Make a small list of engagement strategies you admire about those creators and think about how you could apply similar techniques in your future interactions with your own community. This task is meant to expose you to effective community engagement before you've even built your own platform. I want you to see what it looks like before you have to go and do it yourself. Learning from established creators gives you a head start on developing your own engagement strategy. Now, based on your observations from action item number 2, I want you to draft an outline of how you envision engaging with your future audience would look like. So include types of content that you like to share, how often you plan to post, and then how you'll invite interaction from your audience. Meaning, how do you get them to comment? How do you get them to DM you? How do you get them to share about your story? And this is essentially planning your engagement strategy. And by doing this early, it makes sure that when you do start building your digital presence, you'll have a very clear idea of how to foster authentic connections, because this preparatory work is what lays the groundwork for a very vibrant and engaged community.
So first, let's talk about identifying your UVP or unique value proposition, aka what makes you special. This includes your life experience, what's shaped you as a person, your unique perspective, your passions and interests. And these are your biggest assets because there is literally not one person who is exactly like you. So when you're wondering how the heck you're going to stand out, or why people would buy from you instead of someone else, this is why. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're on social media and you really want to find someone to follow that teaches gentle parenting techniques. Maybe you struggle with this and you're having a hard time handling difficult behaviors with your kids and you just really need some reassurance. And let's just say you find 2 different accounts that teach this same subject. The first account you come across is a mom who has been using these techniques for over 10 years and has loads of experience, and she has a no-nonsense, take it or leave it kind of approach. Like, this mom does not mess around. And the second account is a mom who has adopted these techniques after struggling herself and has a much more reassuring and non-judgmental approach. You're more likely going to follow, trust, and buy from that second account because her style and her brand is what you are needing and what you are looking for. This is why we have put and will continue to put so much emphasis on building your personal brand and staying authentically you in your content, because you're going to find those people that resonate with you and relate to you. So next I want to talk about how to create really valuable digital products. So here's the thing, there's no right or wrong answers when deciding on what kind of digital product you want to sell. But the best digital product is one that addresses your target audience specific needs or problems. We're here to solve a problem that they're having. And before you ask, well, what if other creators in my niche are already selling a product that solves the problem that I wanted to solve? It's okay. Because just like we talked about earlier, your unique experiences and personal insights are going to differentiate your product. When you're brainstorming a problem to solve, you'll want to do what we call market research. And this is honestly just a fancy term for using the internet to search for problems people are having or questions that they're asking. Have you ever had a really super specific problem? You type the question in Google and you see Reddit come up with people asking the same question? This is how you're going to do your research. For example, let's just say that you want to use your online presence to help people learn how to best care for their elderly parents. After all, you took care of your own elderly parents and you learned a lot through the process. And you're thinking, well, I know how I did it, but I'm not sure what other people need help with or what their questions are. You're going to go to the good old Google machine and you're going to type in a question that you had. Maybe it's something like, what's the easiest way to prevent bed sores for my elderly parent who's bedbound? You're going to scroll down to where it says, people also ask, and you're going to see what other people are asking related to your question. This is how you're you're going to create products that have real value by answering people's questions and by solving their problems. And look, if you're still wondering what exactly a digital product is, it's more than just ebooks, okay? It's literally any product that one can purchase and have fulfilled online immediately. And just to be clear, these are not tangible products. Digital products can be so many things, from ebooks, challenges, PDF guides, checklists, webinars, newsletters, one-on-one consultations, group coaching, audits, pre-made templates, photography presets, apps, softwares, you name it. But it's important to choose a digital product that aligns with your skills and your passions. If you don't have any experience creating digital products, things like ebooks, PDF guides, and checklists are ideal because they're really simple to create using free softwares like Canva that has pre-built templates that you can plug and play. Those are just some really great beginner formats. And when it comes to creating these digital products, feel free to be creative. One thing that I highly discourage is looking at everyone else's products. Yes, doing this can give you inspiration, but mostly it just overwhelms you and it stifles your creativity. Use your voice in your products and create it in a way that you like. If you like bright colors, use them. This is you and your branding, and you can do it however you freaking want. So have fun. All right, so next I want to talk about different monetization strategies or different ways that you can make money on social media. As a digital creator looking to earn income on social media, diversifying your streams of income is crucial. Just like the old saying goes, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Yes, you're going to sell your own digital products, but you're also going to promote brands that you know and trust. And you can even earn directly from Instagram by creating subscription content. And as a digital marketer and creator, I always recommend making your products your main offer rather than another brand. You want the majority of your income to come from whatever it is that you're creating so that your income isn't dependent on another business staying afloat. But while you're promoting your main offer on social media, you'll market to your audience via email with secondary offers like products you're an affiliate for. For example, my main offer is my digital product, but I also promote things like ManyChat for DM automation and StanStore because I personally use and love them. And anytime someone uses my affiliate links to purchase those things or sign up for those things, I get paid a commission by that company. And those are just extra streams of income. Okay, so when it comes to choosing digital products or affiliate marketing, we fully believe that if you're doing one, you absolutely should be doing both. And I will die on that hill. And it's because, like I said, you need more than one stream of income. You're most likely getting into this industry because you are tired of working your ass off only just to get by financially. You need to make more for your family. You have financial goals. You want to be home more. Maybe you want to just stop missing out on life. You want to alleviate stress. Whatever your goal, this is how you're going to get there. And to be quite blunt, and I say this with love, if you're going to half-ass it, it's not worth your time doing it at all. You've worked so hard for much less, but this time it's going to be worth it. Okay, so on the topic of being blunt, I really want to set your expectations for what it means to become a digital creator and what you can expect. So when it comes to promoting any product on social media, it's important to know that it does take work. Unfortunately, there is no way to make real money without some level of work being involved. Digital marketing is the type of business where the profits are a direct reflection of your efforts. And I don't say any of this to scare you, but I'm the type of person who really appreciates the information up front, and I want you to be able to make an informed decision. Your time is so valuable, so if you're looking for something that offers easy money, this isn't it. That being said though, the work that's needed to do this successfully is extremely simple. I have my RN degree and I spent thousands and thousands of hours poring over books and testing and getting to the hospital at 4 a.m. to train and then working 12-hour shifts. This is so much easier than that. I'm telling you that if you went to college or you work a 9-to-5 job, you have what it takes to do this and do this well. You are so smart and so capable, and if you've made it this far in this challenge, you're well on your way. And one question I get asked all the time is, when can I expect to start earning? And the answer is that it all depends on you. It depends on how much time you're willing to invest, your work ethic, how quickly you pick up skills, your ability to problem solve, your ability to think for yourself and figure things out, how long it takes you to nail down your brand, how consistent you are, the quality of your work, your ability to be forward thinking and continue to improve. That being said, I've seen people make their first sale a few weeks in, and I've seen people not make their first sale until month 6. And I've seen a lot of people give up before they even have the chance to succeed. It's important to know that your journey is going to be as unique as you are. So do your best not to compare your journey to others. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and there is never ever promised earning, but we'll help you to build a business and earn sustainable income. Know that this is something that takes time, but it is so worth it. That being said, I want to share some really helpful and simple marketing tips. When it comes towards working towards making that first sale, here are some of the strategies you're going to want to implement. The first one is that you want to create a content strategy. Decide how often you want to post, whether it be once a day or 3 times a week. That is completely up to you. We always recommend posting more as a beginner to help start training the algorithm to learn who you are, what you're talking about, and to whom. Your content should really encourage and inspire and educate, and you want to decide what kind of posts you want to make and when. There is a lot of trial and error when it comes to your content strategy, so don't be discouraged if it takes you a while to figure out what works for you. Your insights are going to provide great feedback for what your audience responds well to and maybe what they don't respond as well to. The next tip is that you want to create high quality content. You want to use great lighting. The more sunlight, the better. You want to make sure your camera is clean. You want to make sure that there's enough room in the frame to add text on screen wherever that be. Spend some time practicing editing your videos and use resources like YouTube for tutorials. Next is that you want to use the proper format for your reels. This format is comprised of a hook, the value or meat and potatoes, as I like to call it, and your CTA or call to action. A hook is the first sentence that you say or the first words that you see on the screen that grab your attention and entice you to stop scrolling and watch the whole video. The value or meat and potatoes is in the middle, and this is where you talk about whatever topic that you want to talk about for that reel. And the CTA is the call to action, and this is where you tell them to do something at the end, like share this video, save this video, DM me with any questions, or comment keyword to learn more. This is the format that you should be using in every single one of your reels. Next, I want you to engage authentically with your audience every day. This includes responding to comments, thanking people for following you, having authentic conversations in your DMs, and engaging with other creators' content. You just want to show up authentically and talk to people like a person, not just a potential sale. We're here to build a community of followers that trusts you and know that you're genuine. And lastly, be patient and give yourself a lot of grace. Remember that building trust with your followers takes time. It's a learning curve to show up and be vulnerable on social media, and you're going to get better every single day. You're here and listening and learning for a reason. Remember why you want to do this in the first place and let it drive you, because it's going to be worth it. So something that's really important to do in this journey of becoming a digital creator is to celebrate any and all wins, big or small. I mean, the fact that you're brave enough to step outside of your comfort zone and even take part in this challenge is worth celebrating. As a born and bred perfectionist, I know how hard it can be to do this, and how often it can come so naturally to only see the mistakes that you've made or the areas that you need to improve. But start now. The beauty of becoming a digital creator is that you get to do something that brings you joy. You get to talk about something that gets you excited, and you get to share it with the world. You are your own boss. There's no monthly metrics to meet. You're not answering to someone else. You don't have any SOPs to follow. You're not working to make someone else rich. You get to do this your way on your time for you and your goals only. So if you get a new follower, be excited. If you get someone in your DMs asking questions, that's incredible. Celebrate those wins and be nice to yourself, because you're going to do amazing things, which is why we're here to support you through it and give you the foundation you need to start this journey off on the right foot. The first thing I want you to do is start thinking about what sets you apart. What is your unique value proposition? How does your specific life experience, personality, and values differentiate you from the rest? The second thing I want you to do is start brainstorming digital product ideas. I want you to list 5 digital product ideas that can solve problems for your audience. Consider ebooks, courses, templates, or any digital goods that you are capable of creating. And lastly, I want you to create a monetization strategy outline. Okay, it's not complicated. I just want you to choose one of the models that we talked about, whether it's affiliate marketing or just selling your own digital product. And then I want you to outline a really basic strategy for implementing that. After you've done your homework for this lesson, you should have an understanding of how your personal brand is going to set you apart art, what kind of digital product you want to create, and how you want to serve your audience. And the fact that you're doing this now is going to set you so far ahead of the masses, because by answering these questions, looking inward and focusing on what you want to do, you're setting up a really solid foundation for your business to grow. And if there's one thing that most of us know, is that a business will keep you busy, especially when you're in the beginning stages. Is it less busy than a 9-to-5? Absolutely. But it's important to learn how to continue growing your brand without losing the work-life balance.
As a digital creator and marketer, you're going to hear the mantra consistency is key so many times, I can't even tell you, but it is so important for building recognition and trust with your audience. As a digital creator and marketer, consistency truly is key. And I know it sounds cliche and you're going to hear a lot of people talk about consistency, but it is absolutely crucial. Consistency is what builds recognition and trust with your audience. Like we've said before, people buy from people they trust. Your audience wants to know that they can rely on you to provide them with consistent value. And you're going to do this by staying true to your brand voice, to your image and your messaging. If you're always flip-flopping around and changing things up and trying on trends or personas that aren't true to who you are, your audience is way less likely to be a long-term follower or to engage with your content, and especially less likely to buy from you. I have personally followed certain accounts for years because it's comforting to me to know that they are true to themselves and that no matter what, their messaging stays consistent. And I can trust that they're always going to keep delivering the same amount of value. So there may be a time when you want to pivot in your business, and that's completely okay, but staying true to yourself throughout that pivot is key to keeping integrity of your brand. So let's talk about storytelling as a tool. A huge component of building a long-term business is storytelling, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Tell your audience a story, your story. Your audience wants to know who you are, how you ended up here, what your real personality is like, and most importantly, they want to know your why. So remember when we were talking about that a couple days ago, your biggest motivator isn't just important to you, it is also important to your audience. Are you here to just make a quick buck? Or do you really care about them as people? Do you really want your presence and your products to make a positive impact on them? Sharing your why is going to help your audience relate to you and again, to trust you. And a really simple way to incorporate storytelling is in your Instagram stories. This is where you can showcase little bite-sized snippets of your daily, unfiltered, unscripted, non-curated life. So like this is where you can talk about something funny that happened or a situation you dealt with and how it made you feel. Like share embarrassing stories, which Paige does all the time, or something relatable that your target audience would totally understand. Feel free to share your values in your reels as well. It's an important component of who you are as a person. Like so for instance, Paige shares mom stuff all of the time. Her life is chaotic more often than not, but she's able to use that to relate to others in a similar stage of life. Telling your stories and letting people get to know you is just a way to continue to emotionally connect with your audience and build trust. By the way, this is another one of the carefully selected hills that I will absolutely die on. So let's also talk about evolving with your brand. While we want you to stay true to you and your brand, it is also really important to stay open-minded. If you're thinking like, that sounds counterintuitive, just keep listening. Since we're talking long-term, it's expected that you're going to continue learning more about your target audience in your industry, and you may need to make adjustments in your process. Like, let's look at Netflix, for example. Back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember, Netflix only delivered DVDs to your house. It was basically a home delivery blockbuster. So you picked out a list of movies you wanted to watch, and they deliver them to your physical mailbox. Then you'd have to find the nearest drop-off box at like McDonald's or Walgreens in order to get a new round of movies delivered to your home. But eventually, Netflix's entire business pivoted to a streaming service in order to keep up with the changes in technology and preferences of their audience. So instead of letting their business die because nobody wanted DVDs anymore, they learned how to keep delivering their product by simply adjusting their delivery method. And now they're arguably the most popular streaming service on the market, which I bet wasn't even on the horizon when Netflix first started out. And this is exactly what you're going to do as a creator in an ever-evolving industry. So next, let's talk about some smart growth strategies. As you grow and scale your business, you're probably going to end up with more work, which is an amazing problem to have, but also a problem that needs solving. And by more work, I'm talking about more DMs, more comments to respond to, more emails to look at, that kind of thing. It's not hard work, but it is still work that takes time and energy. And if you want to continue to grow, it's important to learn how to work smarter and not harder. This is done by outsourcing. And before you freak out, because I would have freaked out if I'd heard the term outsourcing when I was just getting started, this doesn't mean that you have to hire a team and interview people or sit in meetings all day. Because of the way the digital world has grown and because so many people have learned how to monetize the online space, there are so many more resources than ever to help you automate your business and ultimately not work so hard, which, let's be real, is the entire point. Am I right? Outsourcing certain tasks can allow you to put more energy toward your digital products or your strategy and that core work that's going to help you grow instead of sitting around and answering messages for hours. For example, I want to look at ManyChat. ManyChat is an incredible tool that essentially works as your Instagram virtual assistant. It allows you to automate your DMs and comments, answer frequently asked questions, engage with your audience, and never ever miss out on a lead again. And for $27 a month, it's literally the easiest and most affordable tool out there to help you work less and make more. I absolutely refuse to do any business without ManyChat at this point. It has been a massive time saver. So when we talk about outsourcing, we're talking about utilizing these tools that exist to help you run your business on autopilot. There are also tools like Metricool, and this is a program that allows you to schedule out your social media content and post it on your behalf. It also gives you really great insights, and it takes the guesswork out of what's working, what's not. And look, while you might not need to outsource for a while, know that when it's time, there is a resource for everything. Now, as you grow as a creator and a marketer, you're going to continue to adapt your digital offers and your digital products as well. As the industry shifts and you better learn the needs of your audience, you're going to continue to create new products that solve their problems. For example, when I first got started as a digital creator, I was only promoting a course. But as time went on, I learned more about my specific target audience. I listened to their issues and I realized many people still had problems that weren't being solved by that course. So I decided to start a mentorship group with my sister as a space to provide extra guidance for those who were still struggling and needed a little extra support. Through our mentorship group, which was our first digital product, we actually learned that there were more areas where we could provide guidance with other digital products. And I'm sure you can kind of see, like, at this point where I'm going with this. So as we continue to serve our audience, we recognize new opportunities to help them with new products. What started for us as a small mentorship group hosted in Facebook has turned into a thriving online business that is redefining the e-learning and digital marketing space. And yes, we're talking about Socially, we're talking about Creator Club. That one $60 product, our mentorship group, literally paved the way for something we never dreamed we'd have. Never, ever thought that we'd be capable of, and absolutely never in a million years saw coming. So as you grow, keep your eyes open for new opportunities always. And this leads me to the topic of using feedback from your audience for business growth. If I hadn't paid attention to the issues my audience was having with the product I was promoting, and if I hadn't taken it seriously, I would never have been able to create a product that addressed those issues. I would have kept promoting said product, the course, and likely would have lost the trust of my audience. When you're a creator, you learn to establish yourself as the authority in your niche, which we've talked about. And if you're promoting a product, even when your audience is not happy with it, or even if they don't need it, your audience is going to think that you don't have their best interests in mind and will be much less likely to buy from you in the future or share your content with others. An easy way to get feedback from your audience is to ask them in your stories. Use interactive stories with specific questions. Use polls and ask them what they're struggling with. What products would they like to see? If they prefer ebooks or courses or other types of digital product formats. This is going to help you decide how you need to pivot or what your next digital product should be. Don't pay attention to what other creators are doing. Focus only on the specific needs and requests of your target audience. And that brings me to a game changer in growing your business, really tuning into your audience's feedback. Imagine if I had just ignored the bumps my followers were hitting with the product I was promoting. If I hadn't taken their struggles to heart, I'd never have created something that actually hit the mark for them. Sticking to promoting that mismatched product could have eroded my audience's trust in me. As creators, we're building ourselves up to be the go-to experts in our fields. But if we keep pushing a product that just isn't clicking with our audience, it sends a message that we're not really in it for them. And that can turn them off from buying from us down the line or spreading the word about our work. Getting feedback doesn't have to be complicated either. A really simple way to get that feedback is just by asking for it in your Instagram stories, like we mentioned. Get creative with those interactive stickers, or run some polls, or ask directly about their pain points or what kind of products they're dying to see next, whether it's a guide or a course or anything digital. This isn't just chit chat, it is gold for figuring out your next move or what your next big product reveal should be. And look, like I mentioned, don't get too caught up in watching what other creators are up to. Keep your eyes on the prize, understanding and delivering on the unique needs and wishes of your audience. One thing that is incredibly important to me as a mom, as a person, as an entrepreneur is work-life balance. As a digital creator whose work revolves around social media, it can be so easy to get sucked into being on your phone or your computer all day. Scrolling for research can easily turn into doom scrolling or getting stuck in a scroll hole, which is what we call it. You may end up finding yourself checking your notifications every 5 minutes. As a creator and a business owner, you have to make a shift in how you use social media. You have to stop being just a consumer. Otherwise, you'll spend all day on the platform when one of your goals, the reason you even considered making a living online, was for more work-life balance. Even if your business is done through social media, it does not mean you have to be on it all day. And there's some really simple ways to manage this. Create your content ahead of time. Some creators prefer to batch content, and this is where they spend a couple of hours once or twice a week to make all of their content for the week at one time, which frees up their time during the day to work on other things like engaging or just whatever the heck they want. But batching content is a really great option if you're still working a 9-to-5 job, or if you're a busy parent, or if you just have a really busy lifestyle, which I get all three of those things, or if you're a super organized and proactive person, which is not me. But a great way to batch content is to write down content ideas and topics as they come to mind, so you have a list ready to go on batch day. And this is an amazing strategy for time management. The next thing you're going to do is block time for work. So if you're trying to manage your time spent working on social media, blocking time is a really great way to do this. This is really just carving out an hour or two every day at a specific time to get some work done. During this time, you're going to focus only on tasks you need to accomplish for the day. This could be responding to comments, it could be answering DMs, it could be working on those digital products. I found that blocking time to work makes it easier to focus on the tasks that need to get done, and it keeps you from being on your phone or computer all day. When I was still working full-time, I blocked out time in the mornings, evenings, and even on my lunch break to knock out some of these tasks, which most of the time was just posting content throughout the day. Another tip is going to be turning off your notifications. This again is completely optional, but I recommend it because getting pinged every time someone likes a post or follows you, which is great news, it's a great little dopamine rush, but it can end up being very consuming, and you can end up opening your phone to check out those notifications every time they come in. So turning off your notifications helps you pull out of that mental state that's constantly thinking about social media, and it helps you stay more present. Because again, that's why we're here in the first place, to be more present for the people in times that are important to us. And look, this is another huge one, and I live by it. Set hard limits on social media activity. Put a hard stop to the time you're on social media every day. This is another one of those hills that I will die on. Around 7:30 every evening, I shut down Instagram and I don't open it back up until the next day. And this gives me time to decompress from my entire day. It gets me away from my phone and it allows me to reset and get excited about the next morning. It also just allows you to be more present with your family or just have the overall work-life balance you're looking for. Again, being mindful of how you use social media for fun and for business will not only help you achieve that work-life balance, but it'll also help prevent burnout, which is so important to be aware of as creators. And this brings me to the topic of staying motivated and passionate about your work and how to avoid said burnout. The last thing we want to happen is for our business that's quite literally based on our passion to start feeling like a chore. We're here because we're tired of feeling like our jobs, our professions are chores. We're ready to finally enjoy ourselves and make money doing it. So I'm going to give you some actionable tips that you can use on a day-to-day basis to stay motivated. Number 1, set achievable goals. Goals are important for any business and just life in general, and having big goals is important and awesome. But sometimes when we only set big goals, it's easier to lose motivation because those big goals take longer to achieve. So I want you to practice setting smaller goals that can be achieved on a shorter time frame, whether it's completing a digital product or if it's launching a new product, getting more engagement, engaging better with your audience, posting a certain amount of times per day, improving your content creation, or showing up in some capacity every day. Those are small goals that are very achievable and keep you motivated. All right. The second one is celebrating your wins. When you achieve those goals for yourself, freaking celebrate them, okay? Instead of thinking like, oh wow, other people are so far ahead of me, or I wish I was further ahead, say, look how far I've come. I'm that much closer to success. Because if you haven't noticed yet, mindset is so freaking important to this business, and it's going to make or break you. Next, I want you to connect with a supportive community. I'll be honest, I used to be one of the people that rolled their eyes so hard at things like this. Whenever I heard the word community, I was like, yeah, no, I'm actually good. Thanks. I am introverted by nature and pretty independent, so the idea of community pretty much had me heading for the hill. The last thing I wanted to do was talk to a bunch of people and ask for advice. But when Paige and I created Socially, we had inadvertently created a community along with it. And here's the thing, the members within Socially, within Creator Club, are who make this platform, this experience, and this community the most unique space you will ever find online. We absolutely cannot take credit for it. But being part of a community that is full, literally full of like-minded people who are all trying to achieve the same thing has been an absolute game changer. I never realized how amazing it is to have people who you've never met truly supporting you and wishing the best for you. To be able to have a place to go when you're hitting a wall, having a bad day, or you're stuck in a creative slump is amazing. You can learn something from everyone. So don't try to be a lone wolf. It's not necessary, and it's a surefire way to end up unmotivated and burned out early. And I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want to talk again about continuous improvement. Just like any area of your life, continuous improvement is absolutely vital. Could you imagine what a world would be like if no one ever tried to improve or keep learning? It would be a train wreck, and we'd all still be living in the Stone Age. As an entrepreneur, we have to improve and learn, especially in the ever-changing, fast-moving digital world where there are new trends nearly every week and technology advancements are changing the world as we know it. But don't let this make you nervous, because it's not actually that hard to keep up. It just has to be intentional. And here's some examples of ways to keep improving and learning. Set aside money every month to pay for courses or education that would help you improve in certain areas. So let's say you start digital marketing, but no matter how much you practice and research, you struggle with writing good sales copywriting. Find someone on social media who teaches copywriting techniques and strategies. Do your research on them, read reviews, make sure their product is worth the investment, and then use those savings to purchase their course that's going to teach you how to write better copy. Because if you write better copy for your products, you're going to get more leads and sales. That's an investment back into you and your business. Read or listen to books or podcasts that are devoted to personal and business growth, motivation, goal setting, sales strategy, or any topic that will teach you something valuable and will help you grow professionally and personally. Also, this is a huge one. Connect with experienced creators. So start conversations, ask questions, and before you assume that they won't respond, remember that those who never ask, never receive. So I'm going to tell you, be bold. You can also subscribe to newsletters that keep you up to date with changes in your industry. That's a really good way to get information presented to you without having to do any work. And what's really cool about this is that you get to choose what you learn, when you learn, and who you learn it from. So you can learn from people who you resonate with. You are in full control. And I don't know about you, but that makes the idea of continuing education so much more palatable. Way better than receiving emails from HR saying that you have education modules that you need to get through by the next week. Think of it as less of a chore and more of a way to level up to becoming a badass digital creator. We are going to start goal setting. Number 1 is goal setting. Write down 3 long-term and then 3 short-term goals and what needs to be done to achieve them. And give yourself a realistic time frame. Number 2, start making a plan on how you're going to achieve said goals. Whether this is by investing in your education or blocking small windows of time in your day dedicated to learning or deciding on a niche or developing your personal brand, getting organized in the beginning is one of the best ways to set yourself up for success. And number 3 is get to work, guys. If you have a dream, you can spend a lifetime studying, planning, and getting ready for it. But what you should be doing is getting started. And if you have made it all the way through day 5, take a minute to just be proud of yourself because you took the time to sit and listen and learn something new. That in itself is a huge accomplishment because it means you took the first step into the unknown. Into the unknown. That was probably way off pitch. And I don't know about you, but even learning about something new can feel super intimidating, even if it's from home on your couch. It's like your brain somehow knows that you're gearing up to do something huge. In case you're wondering, what you're feeling isn't fear, by the way, it's excitement. There's a quote by a famous psychiatrist that says, "Fear is excitement without breath." which basically means that the experience of fear and the experience of excitement is nearly the same. The only thing that separates them is your breath. When you're excited, you can forget to take deep breaths and it can feel like fear. And in turn, when you're afraid, if you take deep breath, you can turn the fear into excitement. You're taking a chance on you and stepping outside your comfort zone, and that is so exciting. This is you stepping into your true potential.
If you're tired of the 9 to 5 grind and you're literally dreaming of a life where you have more freedom and flexibility, then you're in the right place. You're here because you want honesty and you want transparency, and that's what we're going to give you, like it or not. You don't need me to tell you that the traditional path isn't for everyone, which is trading your time for a paycheck that barely covers the bills. Or it covers the bills, but that's about it. You're here because your 9 to 5 only allows you so much PTO for vacations, if you can even afford them, for sick days, emergencies, life in general, and that's not exactly the dream. At least it wasn't for me. But what if I told you there's a different way? Like a realistic way to build a business you actually love that allows you to create your own schedule and, more importantly, break out of these limitations that the traditional lifestyle places on us from a crazy young age. That's what this course is about. We're talking about the world of digital products and online businesses where you could quite literally turn your passions and skills into a thriving income stream. If you don't know much about me, let me just quickly kind of introduce you to my background, my experience, why I'm even here. Little over a year and a half ago, I was working a full-time corporate job. I was a project manager for an engineering firm, and I was managing a team of writers who were writing zoning reports all across the United States. And that sounds really exciting, maybe. It would have sounded exciting to me 10 years ago, but it wasn't. I was chained to a desk. I was working 40 plus hours a week. I was barely making enough money to just cover expenses in general. And it was not enough PTO to travel like I'd always wanted. I was working remotely, but I was watching my husband and my kid like live, play outside, do chores together. And I was stuck with a headset on taking client calls. And I was trying to cram an entire life's worth of experiences into 2 days and a weekend. And I couldn't get this feeling out of my head. And this wasn't the first time that I felt it, but I just felt like this was not what I was promised. I went to high school, I got good grades, then I went to college and I graduated summa cum laude. And right after college, I couldn't get a job. So I took odd jobs until ultimately I ended up temping for a civil engineering firm, and they just kind of kept me around after that. I have a degree in liberal arts. I'm not a civil engineer. I don't have an engineering background. I don't have that kind of knowledge or experience. Okay, I've been doing like administrative jobs since I've been able to work. And I constantly felt like I'd been lied to. Like I was doing everything I was told to do. I was living the life. I had a kid and a family and a job, but I felt like I just wasn't living, and I couldn't shake that feeling. And so that's when I started looking into online opportunities. I ended up investing in a program that was really expensive. It was too much I couldn't even really afford it. I had to pull from my kid's savings account just in order to buy it. But fast forward to now, it's led me to generating over $1.1 million in profit with digital products, all because I took a chance. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you now, because if you haven't gotten started yet, you need to take this chance. Now, I want to talk about something that's really important when considering starting an online business, and that's mindset. Because believe it or not, this is what will make or break your creator journey. And I kind of learned this the hard way. Most of us are programmed to think in terms of scarcity, like there's only so much success to go around, or that someone else's success diminishes the possibility of our own. And for some reason, for a lot of us, this scarcity mindset is the framework for how we were raised. Like there's this eternal competition that everyone's competing in. And if someone is doing really well, it means you must be doing something wrong. This kind of mindset is relentless, and it naturally leads to jealousy, to self-doubt, and playing small. But here's the truth that's going to take you a while to understand. There is enough abundance for everyone. In fact, there is more than enough. Let me share some characteristics of an abundance mindset, which is the opposite of a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset believes in limitless possibilities. This is what allows you to dream big and set those ambitious goals and go after them with confidence, even if you're not confident yet. You're going to challenge yourself to fake it until you make it. And my sister is actually a great example of this. When I started pursuing online opportunities, she was not convinced. In fact, nobody was, not even me. But I was too desperate not to try it. And when I began finding success is when I told my sister that she has to try this, even if she was still nervous. So she decided to take this leap of faith the same way that I did. And before she even quit her full-time job, she wrote herself a check for $600,000 and taped it to her bathroom mirror so that she saw it every single day. And I don't think she's hit that goal quite yet, but she's very close, like really close to it. When she told me about the check, I knew she was going to do it, but she was still in that delusional stage of starting her business. And she was like, well, we'll see if this happens. And it is. It's actually happening. But part of working toward an abundance mindset is embracing the fact that you are your competitive edge. I want you to think about all the people you follow on social media, including me. You may be following some people strictly for the value that they're providing, which is totally fine. But others, you're following simply because you like who they are, the things they say, what they believe in, what they've overcome and shared with others online, who they are as a person. You have the exact same potential to affect others the way those people affect you. People will resonate with you based on your experiences, your humor, your points of view, your background, your lifestyle. So when I tell you nobody can be the you that you are, I mean it. There's not a single other person on the face of this earth who can bring what you do to your business. And an abundance mindset allows you to lean into that and to appreciate you for who you are. This is how you take your passions or your gifts or your individuality and you lend it to your new business. The last one, and this is going to be very hard to do. Stop comparing yourself to others. Trust that I'm telling you this as someone who still struggles to remember that everyone else's journey, their successes, and their wins are not mine. And they have absolutely nothing to do with me. Allow other people's businesses to inspire you or to encourage you, to give you ideas, but do not allow them to diminish what you're doing or what you're accomplishing. So when you see someone else doing well, I want you to catch yourself when you start wondering what they're doing right that you're doing wrong. Like literally stop dead in your tracks and congratulate them. Maybe not in person, unless you want to, but in your head, look at them and say, hey, you're killing it. Way to go. This is great. This is not something that's going to change for you overnight. You're going to have to train yourself to do this, but it is so worth it. When your value is independent of others' success, you're able to take emotion out of the decisions that you make for your business. I'll actually share a pretty recent struggle that I was going through, and my husband kind of snapped me out of it. I was sitting on the couch talking to him about some decisions we were making in our business, how we wanted to move forward, and I was just having this moment of self-doubt, which happens more often than I would like to admit. And I just said something like, I'm just not good at business. And he said, if you keep telling yourself that, you'll never be good at business. And I was like, oh, dang it. And since then, I've been reminding myself that, yeah, I may be new to running a business, but I can learn. And I am every single day. The internet is quite literally lit up with people talking about digital marketing and online business. And it feels like everyone is creating courses or they're launching podcasts and building these thriving online communities. But let's take a minute to cut through some of this noise. What is digital marketing really, and why should you care? Simply put, digital marketing is just using the internet to connect with specific people and make some money by helping them solve a problem. It is about leveraging the power of social media, email lists, other online tools to build a brand that people love and ultimately sell your products or services. But digital products are the real game changers. Digital products live online. These are things like ebooks, courses, templates, memberships, stock photos, presets, recordings. The possibilities of the kinds of digital products you can create and sell is literally limitless. And I want you to think about it. You create a digital product one time, and then you can sell it over and over and over. You don't have to worry about manufacturing or shipping or any of the logistical stuff that comes with selling digital products. It is pure profit delivered instantly with just a click. Imagine sipping margaritas on a beach in Bali while your digital products are bringing in the cash on autopilot. If that sounds unbelievable to you, it did to me too, but it's not. So why is everyone obsessed with digital marketing and digital products? Well, first of all, it's incredibly accessible. You don't need an office, you don't need a team or employees, and you don't need a ton of money to even get started. You really just need your laptop, an internet connection, and an abundance mindset like we talked about, and you're good to go. Secondly, digital products are incredibly scalable. You can sell an ebook to one person or you can sell it to 10,000 people. The potential for growth is literally limitless. And as your audience grows, so does your bank account, as long as you're doing it correctly. But more than anything else, digital marketing is widely popular because of this one phrase, passive income. This is the holy grail of online business. And this is the real ability to earn money while you sleep, while you travel, or just live your life. Like imagine waking up to money in your bank all because of a digital product that you created months ago. That's the power of passive income. But digital marketing isn't just about making money. It's about building a real community where you get to share what you're passionate about and make a genuine impact on other people. And it's honestly about connecting with people who get you and you helping them achieve their goals. And that's honestly why it's so exciting. Digital marketing gives you the freedom to build a business that's truly yours, and it allows you to create this life where your work is actually fulfilling, your income is abundant, and your time is truly your own. And I'm going to assume that those are the reasons you're sitting here watching this masterclass. All right, so let's talk about something that's super important for building a successful online business, and that's finding your niche. Now, niche might sound like a fancy marketing term, but it's actually a pretty simple concept. So I want you to think of it like this. Like, imagine you walk into a giant grocery store. There's food everywhere. There's fresh produce. There's frozen dinners and snacks. There's candy. And it's kind of overwhelming, especially when you go in and you don't know where to start or what aisles to go down first. But then you see a sign that says gluten-free bakery, and all of a sudden you know exactly where you're going to go if you're looking for gluten-free bread or cakes or baked goods or whatever. And that section of a grocery store is a niche because it caters to a specific group of people with a particular need or preference. Online, a niche is basically the same thing. It's a specific area of focus that allows you to target a particular audience with shared interests or problems or desires. And you could be sitting there thinking, why can't I just be a digital creator and offer everything to everyone? And while that might sound tempting, it's actually much harder to succeed that way. Now, here's why. When you have a niche, you know exactly who you're talking to and what they need. And this makes it easier to create content that actually resonates with them, or to help develop products that actually solve their problems, or create marketing messages that speak directly to their desires. Imagine trying to appeal to everybody on the internet. It's literally like shouting into a void. But when you have a niche, you can attract a targeted audience who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer. When you focus on a specific niche, you become the go-to expert in that area. People start to trust your opinions and your recommendations because they know you understand their needs and challenges. And the broader that your focus is, the more competition you're going to face. But when you niche down, you're competing with fewer people, and it makes it easier to stand out and attract attention. So how do you actually find your niche? And this is all about finding the place where your passions and your skills intersect with market demand. And again, that sounds a lot more complicated than it is. And in order to help you find your niche, I have some questions that you can ask yourself. So if you don't have your pen and paper yet, get it out right now and let's write these questions down so you can answer them. What are you good at? What skills or knowledge do you have that can be valuable to others? What issues do people come to you for help with? Have you noticed friends or family coming to you specifically when they need help with a certain activity or issue or event? What problems can you solve? What challenges do people in your potential niche face, and how can you help them overcome those challenges? Is there a market for it? Are there enough people interested in your niche to support a profitable business? Ideally, your niche should be something that you're both passionate about and that has a strong market demand. But sometimes you might need to find a balance between the two. For example, you might be super passionate about underwater basket weaving. But if there are only 3 people in the world who share that passion, it might not be the most profitable niche unless you can convince those 3 people to pay you a lot of money. On the other hand, you might be really good at accounting, but if you find it incredibly boring, it might be hard to stay motivated and create content that excites your audience. The key is to find a niche that you're at least somewhat passionate about and that has enough market demand to support your business goals. So I'm going to give you a couple more prompts and exercises that are going to help you brainstorm potential niche ideas. And again, make sure that you have that pen and paper out. The first one is your skills assessment. List your top 5 skills or areas of expertise. This can be any 5 at all that you can think of. Number 2, passion project. What are you most passionate about? What do you love learning and talking about? Number 3, problem solver. What problems do you see in the world that you could help solve? Number 4, market research. Explore online communities or forums or social media groups to see what people are talking about and what challenges they're facing within a potential niche idea. And number 5, what are some current trends or emerging markets that you could tap into? All right, so now let's talk about one of the most important pieces of the digital marketing puzzle, and that is your ideal customer. Now you might be thinking, isn't my ideal customer just anyone who wants to buy my stuff? And while that's technically true, it's not going to get you very far. Defining your ideal customer is about getting crystal clear on who you're trying to reach, what their needs and their desires are, and how you can create products and content that resonate with them on a deep level. So why is it so important to define your ideal customer? Well, for starters, it helps you focus your efforts. So instead of trying to appeal to everyone, you can tailor your messaging, your content, and your products to a specific group of people who are most likely to be interested in what you have to offer. This also makes it easier to create content that connects with them. So when you know who you're talking to, you can speak directly to their pain points, their aspirations, and their interests. And you can create content that feels personal and relevant and valuable. And this all builds trust and loyalty with your followers. And speaking of valuable, understanding your ideal customer is essential for developing products that will actually sell. When you know what your audience needs and wants, you can create products that solve their problems and fulfill their desires. And this is what leads to happier customers, more sales, and a thriving business. Now, defining your ideal customer goes beyond just basic demographics like age, location, and gender. It's about diving deeper into their psychographics, which are their values, their interests, lifestyle, and even their fears and aspirations. So for example, let's say your target audience is women between the ages of 25 and 40. That's a really good starting point, but it doesn't tell you much about what they care about or what motivates them. But if you dig deeper and you discover that your ideal customer is a busy mom who values convenience and healthy living and spending quality time with her family, you can start to create content and products that speak directly to those values. Maybe you create an ebook with healthy, quick recipes, or you create a course on how to travel hack affordable family vacations. Do you kind of see the difference between those? And one of the best ways to define your ideal customer is to create a customer avatar or a buyer persona. This is a detailed profile of your ideal customer, including their demographics, their psychographics, their goals, challenges, and even their favorite social media platforms and brands. Think of it like creating a character in a story. Okay, you're going to give your customer avatar a name, a face, a backstory. The more detailed you are, the better you'll understand their needs and motivations. So again, grab your notebook and your pen. I'm going to give you some questions that will help you create your customer avatar. Let's answer these questions. How old are they? Where do they live? What is their gender? What is their occupation, or do they have one? What is their average income? What level of education do they have? These are your avatar's demographics. Once you answer those, let's get a little more detailed and ask things like, what are their values? What are their interests? What kind of lifestyle do they live? How would you describe their personality? These are what we call psychographics. Okay, so what are their goals and their aspirations? What challenges or pain points do they face? Where do they spend their time online? And what are their favorite brands and influencers? Once you have a clear understanding of your ideal customer, you can start to put that knowledge into practice. And let me just give you a couple of examples. So with content creation, you can create content that addresses your ideal customer's pain points, their interests, and their goals. You can use language and visuals that resonate with them. With product development, you'll develop products that solve your ideal customer's problems and fulfill their desires. Make sure that your pricing and that your marketing messages align with their budget and values. And when it comes to social media marketing, focus your social media efforts on the platforms where your ideal customer hangs out. Use relevant hashtags and engage with them in a way that feels authentic and genuine. Okay, so let's talk content. This is the heart and soul of your online business. This is kind of that magic ingredient that attracts your dream clients. It builds your personal brand and ultimately drives those sales. But if you're new to it, content creation can honestly feel overwhelming, especially when you're starting out. That was me. So where do you even begin? What kind of content should you create? How do you make sure it actually sells without feeling salesy? So I'm going to break down the essentials of content creation. I want to talk about the different formats and discover how to create content that not only resonates with your audience, but it also has them hitting that buy now button. This is the foundation of your online presence. This is the way that you connect with your audience. It builds that trust and it showcases your expertise. So think of it as your online storefront. This is the first impression people will have of your brand, and it's what's going to keep them coming back for more from you. So here's why content is so important for building an audience and selling digital products. First of all, it attracts your community. Content, when done right, is literally a magnet of its own, and it draws in your ideal customer and it makes them say, where has this person been all my life? Content also gives you the opportunity to build trust and credibility with your audience. If you consistently share valuable content, you become that go-to expert in your niche, and people start to trust your opinions and your recommendations, like we mentioned earlier. Content also allows you to subtly, and maybe not so subtly, showcase your digital products and how they can solve your audience's problems. Kind of like, hey, I've got this thing that can help you with that. And ultimately, great content leads to sales, because by creating content that resonates with your audience and addresses their needs, you can gently guide them toward your products and encourage them to make a purchase. Now, I know you're probably sitting there asking, Can I do this without showing my face? You might be tempted to hide behind your brand and create faceless content. But please trust me that showing your face is one of the best things that you can do for your business. And if you're asking why, it's because people connect with people. When you show up authentically and share your personality, you build trust and create a deeper connection with your audience. They get to know you, they get to like you and trust you, which makes them more likely to support your business. Plus, it's way more fun to see the face behind a brand. So when it comes to faceless content, know that yes, there are some success stories with faceless content. But as a content creator and as somebody who is afraid of showing up personally, know that this is the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your business. Now, I want to dive into content creation. Now, there are so many different types of content that you can create, and each format has its own strengths and benefits. Here are the primary content formats that I use and that I recommend you using as well. And please know that these are focused on Instagram growth. Number one is Reels. These are short, engaging videos that are perfect for grabbing attention, for showcasing your personality, and they're so easy for going viral, especially when you focus on sharing valuable, educational content that actually helps your audience solve a problem or learn more about your niche. Number two is carousel posts. Carousels are posts with multiple images that the viewer will swipe through, and they allow you to share valuable information or tell a story or showcase a product in a visually appealing way that also allows the viewer to consume on their own time. So think of it as like a mini blog post that's super easy and fast to digest. Third is stories. Instagram stories are short posts that are great for behind the scenes glimpses of your day-to-day or quick tips or Q&As and interactive content. And it's kind of like giving your audience a VIP pass to your life and business that they can check out every day in just a couple of seconds. And then fourth is Instagram Lives. Instagram Lives offer a real-time connection with your audience, and it allows you to answer questions, share updates, and build relationships with your audience. And when I first started creating content, I was going live like once, maybe twice a week. And I can't even explain how much it helped me connect with my audience. It allowed them to get to know who I am, what I prioritize, and it allowed me to learn what they're looking for, where they're struggling, and the type of help that I can provide to them that they would be willing to purchase from me. Now, the key to finding what type of content is most effective is to experiment with different formats and then just find what works best for you and your audience. And honestly, don't be afraid to try new things and see what sticks. You really won't know until you try it. And so much of creating content is trial and error. And just so you're prepared, you will have content that completely flops. It's going to get no views. It's going to get no comments. And that's just part of the process. It does not mean you're not cut out for a digital marketing business. It just means you're learning. I still have reels and posts that completely flop, and I'm 2 years in, so stick with it. Another important component of content creation is establishing your content pillars. And these are the core themes or topics that you consistently create content around. These are things that represent your brand's values or your expertise and the problems that you solve for your audience. For example, if you're a fitness coach, your content pillars might look something like these. Nutrition, where you share healthy recipes and meal planning tips and nutrition advice. Or workouts, where you provide workout routines, exercise demonstrations, fitness motivation, and mindset. And this is where you share tips for staying motivated, you overcome challenges, and you build a positive mindset. If you're consistently creating content around these pillars, you're going to easily create a cohesive brand message and establish yourself as an authority in your niche. Essentially, it's like building a solid foundation for your online business. Now, ultimately, the goal of your content is to drive sales. But how do you do that without being pushy or salesy? I want to talk you through a few tips. Focus on providing value. Your content should always be valuable and informative, even if it's not directly promoting a product. Think of it as giving your audience a free taste of the value that you have to offer in your products. Mention your products or services in a natural way, like highlight how they can solve your audience's problems. Another way is to subtly weave in your offerings. So in your content, you can mention your products or services in a more natural way. And it's kind of like saying, hey, are you struggling with this issue? Because if you are, I've got something that can help you if you're interested. Next is to use strong calls to action. So encourage your audience to take the next step, whether it's visiting your website or joining your email list or making a purchase. Do not be afraid to tell your audience what you want them to do. If your audience isn't given a task to complete in the form of comment X if you want Y, or make sure to follow for more, then they won't do it. Just kind of think of it as a friendly reminder. And lastly, track your results. Pay attention to which types of content are driving the most engagement and sales, and adjust your strategy accordingly, because this is all about learning and growing. Okay, so we've talked about all of the front end. Now we need to talk about the behind the scenes magic that makes your business run smoothly. This is your back-end systems. And I know you might be sitting there thinking, that sounds really complicated and expensive, but trust me, it does not have to be. In fact, we're going to keep it super simple and streamlined so that you can focus on what you do best, which is creating content, connecting with your audience, and helping them solve problems. Because here's the thing, there are 1,000,001 ways to set up your online business. You could spend hours researching different platforms or tools or software, and you can end up feeling more confused and overwhelmed than you ever were. But the honest truth is that you don't need a stack of complicated programs and platforms to build a wildly successful online business. In fact, you can achieve insane results with just a few key tools. In this program, we focus on 3 powerful platforms that can handle pretty much everything that you need. That's Instagram, StanStore, and ManyChat. Instagram is obviously where you'll create your content and initially reach your audience. So this is where you'll build your brand and you showcase your expertise. Your Instagram content should be a mix of valuable information, engaging stories, and irresistible offers, because this is where you'll educate your audience. This is where you build those relationships and ultimately drive traffic to your free and paid offers. Now, once you've got people's attention on Instagram, you need a place to showcase your products and make it easy for them to buy. And that's where StanStore comes in. StanStore is basically your online store. So it's where you'll list your digital products, create landing pages, and process all of your payments. It's also where you can host your free or paid community, which gives your audience a place to connect and learn and grow with you for free. It's where you'll list your digital products, create landing pages, process payments, everything to run the back end of your business. It's also where you can host your free or paid community, giving your audience a place to connect, to learn, and grow with you. Now, StanStore offers 2 different plans. The base plan is $29 a month, and the Pro plan is $99 a month. So you can choose which one best fits your needs and your budget. The last program we're going to talk about is ManyChat, and this is where things start to get completely automated. This program literally automates your Instagram interactions so you can save time and energy while still providing a personalized experience for your audience. Hey, and this is how it works. Someone watches one of your reels and then comments the keyword you mentioned at the end of your video. Instead of having to manually respond at every message, ManyChat can automatically send them a response that you wrote ahead of time and send them a link to the freebie that they want to download from you. ManyChat can also answer their questions and begin a conversation. It can guide them toward your sales page, and it can help you build your email list, which is incredibly important. And ManyChat starts at $15 a month, so it's kind of like having this virtual assistant who works 24/7 for 50 cents a day. But if you start your business by focusing on these 3 powerful tools, you can streamline your business and save money and avoid the overwhelm that comes with paying for too many unnecessary tools. Because you're going to have everything that you need to create, to promote, and to sell your digital products, all while building a thriving community and connecting with your audience on a much deeper level. All right, now let's finally talk about your digital products. Actually creating your products does not have to be complicated. In fact, I'd say the simplest, most straightforward products actually sell faster and more often than complicated, overly stylized products. And in fact, you can create amazing, high-quality digital products with tools you probably already have access to. And the best part is that these tools are incredibly affordable. The first one is Canva. If you're creating an ebook or a workbook or a checklist or even a template, Canva is going to be your go-to, and it's completely free. And if you want to unlock even more features and design options, you can upgrade to Canva Pro, which is only $15 a month. That's literally less than a couple of lattes, and it gives you access to an entire world of premium templates, stock photos, design tools, everything you need. But, and a lot of people don't know this, Canva is not just for ebooks and templates. You can also use it to create presentations and record video tutorials. So if you're planning to create an online course, Canva can be your one-stop shop for designing your slides and recording your lessons. Another tool that's essential for any digital product creator is Loom. This is a screen recording software that allows you to capture your screen and yourself at the same time, which makes for really great video tutorials or online courses or even personalized messages for your audience. Loom also has a free version that gives you access to most of its features, so you can start creating high-quality video content without spending any money. Now, if you're creating a membership program where your audience pays a monthly fee to access exclusive content and group coaching calls, the best platform to use for hosting these calls is Zoom. If you're not already familiar with Zoom, which most people are, it's a video conferencing tool that's become a staple in the online business world because it's easy to use, it's reliable, and most people already have experience with it, which makes it super convenient for your audience. And Zoom has a free version that allows you to host meetings with up to 100 participants, so you can start building a community and connecting with your audience in real time without any additional cost. If you haven't noticed, we like free or very cheap things. And creating digital products doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. If you're using tools like Canva and Loom and Zoom in your back pocket, you can create high quality products and experiences for your audience without breaking the bank. We're all about finding ways to make the most amount of money while spending the least, and these tools are just a few examples of how you can do that. Okay, wow, so we have covered a lot of ground, but here's the thing that I want you to remember. This is literally just the beginning. The real magic happens when you take what you've learned and you put it into action. Don't get overwhelmed by thinking you need to do everything at once. Start small. Pick one thing that resonated with you today and commit to implementing it this week. Maybe it's creating your first digital product, or defining your ideal customer, or experimenting with a new content format. Building a successful online business is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Here's what I know for sure. You have the potential to create something truly amazing. You have the knowledge, you have the experience, the courage to build a business that lights you up and allows you to live life on your own terms. All you have to do is go after it. Now, if you're ready to take what you learned today and use it to start building your own online business, then I invite you to watch this next video. Just by watching this masterclass, you're already among the top 10% of people who are brave enough to believe that a fulfilling career in financial freedom and living a life on your terms is possible. And in this next video, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap to get there. And it's simpler than you think. Click the link below to watch it, and I'll show you how to unlock your full potential.